I was 57 years old. 57 years of hard work, prayers, and hoping for better days. Me, Eleanor Johnson, spent my whole life working as a custodian at St. Joseph's Hospital. My hands had grown rough from endless scrubbing. My back ached every morning, and by evening, my feet would swell so bad I could barely make it to the bus stop. But I never complained. Never. Mama taught me, Eleanor, dignity ain't about how much money you got. Dignity is about how you hold your head up when you ain't got nothing at all. And I held it up. For 40 years, I held my head high, even though my paycheck barely covered the rent on my tiny apartment in the Bronx. I had family. My daughter Rashida, 32, worked as a manager at a beauty salon. My granddaughter Kenya, 10 years old, was smart as a whip, wanted to be a doctor. My son Marcus, 28, was always finding himself, jumping from one odd job to another. My younger sister Janice, 2 years younger than me, worked as a cashier at Walmart. My older brother Gerald, 63, had been on disability for years after hurting his back. We weren't close like we used to be. Life had scattered us across the city, and we only saw each other at Christmas or funerals. But they were my blood. The only family I had left after Mama and Daddy passed. That Tuesday evening in March, I was tired. Bone tired. The kind of tired that settles deep in your soul and makes you wonder if you'll ever feel rested again. I'd worked a double shift because Sandra called in sick, and Mr. Peterson, the supervisor, had asked me to cover. He knew I wouldn't say no. I never said no. The bus was late, as usual. I stood at the corner of 149th and Grand Concourse, shifting my weight from one foot to the other, trying to ease the pressure on my swollen ankles. The March wind cut through my worn coat like it was nothing. I should have bought a new one last winter, but then Kenya needed new shoes for school, and Rashida was short on her electricity bill, and Marcus needed gas money to get to some job interview that never panned out. There was a bodega across the street, its neon sign flickering in the dusk. I watched people come and go, clutching lottery tickets, cigarettes, beer. I'd never been a gambling woman. Mama used to say gambling was the devil's tax on poor people who couldn't do math. But that evening, something pulled me across that street. Maybe it was exhaustion. Maybe it was the wind. Maybe it was God whispering in my ear. I walked into that bodega, and the bell above the door chimed. Mr. Patel, the owner, looked up from his phone and nodded. I'd been coming here for years, buying my bread and milk, occasionally a cup of coffee on cold mornings. Mrs. Johnson? He said. How are you today? Tired, Mr. Patel. Real tired. He smiled sympathetically. Long day? Double shift. I walked to the counter, and my eyes fell on the display of lottery tickets. There was a sign, Mega Millions. Jackpot, $127 million. $127 million. I couldn't even imagine that kind of money. It seemed like a number from another universe, a universe where people like me didn't exist. Give me one ticket, I heard myself say. Mr. Patel's eyebrows went up. You playing tonight, Mrs. Johnson? Just one. Quick pick. He ran the ticket through the machine, and it spat out a slip of paper. I paid my $2, folded the ticket carefully, and slipped it into my coat pocket. As I walked out, I felt foolish. $2 I could have saved. $2 closer to a new coat. But something in my chest felt lighter. The drawing was that Friday. I'd forgotten about the ticket by Wednesday. Thursday came and went in a blur of mop water and bleach. Friday, I came home and collapsed on my couch. My small apartment was quiet, except for the hum of the refrigerator and the distant sound of traffic outside. I turned on the TV. Some game show was playing, people screaming and jumping, winning prizes that would change their lives for a few months before they went back to normal. I got up to make myself some tea when the news came on. "And now, the Mega Millions drawing," the announcer said. Something made me stop. I walked to my coat, hanging by the door, and pulled out the crumpled ticket. I sat back down on the couch, ticket in hand, and watched the screen. Numbers began to appear, one by one. 7, my first number. I glanced at my ticket. There it was. 7. Coincidence, I thought. 14. I looked again. 14. I had that too. My heart started beating a little faster. 23. Lord Jesus, I whispered. 23 was on my ticket. 31. My hands started shaking. 31. 4 numbers. 42. No, I breathed. No. 42 was on my ticket. And then the mega ball. 16 times stopped. I looked at my ticket, looked at the TV, looked at my ticket again. 7, 14, 23, 31, 42. Mega ball, 16. Every single number matched. I couldn't breathe. My chest felt tight. The room started spinning. This couldn't be real. Things like this didn't happen to people like me. 57 years of praying, working, struggling, and now this? I grabbed the remote and turned up the volume, waiting for them to repeat the numbers. They did. Same numbers. I checked my ticket again, my hands shaking so hard I could barely read it. It matched. Every single number matched. "Oh God," I said aloud. "Oh God, oh God, oh God." I stood up, sat down, stood up again. I walked to the kitchen, then back to the living room. I picked up my phone, started to dial Rashida's number, then stopped. What would I say? What if I was wrong? What if this was a mistake? I went online on my old laptop, found the lottery website, and checked the winning numbers again. 7, 14, 23, 31, 42. Mega ball, 16. Same numbers. I was holding a winning ticket. $127 million. I dropped to my knees right there on the living room floor and cried. Not tears of joy, not yet. Tears of disbelief, of shock, of fear. This was too big. Too much. What did this mean? What was I supposed to do? I prayed. "Lord, I don't understand why you chose me. I'm nobody special. I'm just Eleanor Johnson, tired and old and worn out. But if this is real, please guide me. Please protect me. Please help me know what to do." I stayed on that floor for an hour, clutching that ticket like it was the most precious thing in the world. Because it was. I didn't sleep that night. I sat on my couch, ticket in my hand, staring at it under the lamplight. I kept checking the numbers over and over, convinced I'd made a mistake. But the numbers never changed. They matched, every single one. By morning, I'd made a decision. I wouldn't tell anyone. Not yet. I needed to think. I needed to be smart about this. Saturday morning, I called the lottery office. My voice shook as I explained I might have a winning ticket and wanted to know what to do next. The woman on the phone was professional but excited. "Ma'am, you'll need to come to our office with the ticket and a valid ID. Do not sign the back of the ticket yet. Do not tell anyone until you've consulted with our financial advisors. And please, keep that ticket in a safe place." "How much is it after taxes?" I asked. "The cash option for $127 million is approximately $68 million. After federal and state taxes, you take home roughly $45 million. $45 million. I hung up and sat in silence. $45 million. I could never spend that much money if I lived 3 more lifetimes. I could help my family, pay off Rashida's debts, send Kenya to any college she wanted, help Marcus get on his feet, take care of Janice and Gerald. For the first time in 40 years, I could stop worrying about money. That afternoon, I went to the lottery office in Manhattan. I dressed simply, my church clothes, nothing fancy. I carried the ticket in my purse, wrapped in a plastic bag, protected like it was made of gold. The office was quieter than I expected. They brought me into a private room where two people verified my ticket with some machine. They took my information, my ID, had me sign paperwork. A lawyer came in and explained my options. "You can take the lump sum or annual payments over 30 years, he said. Most winners choose the lump sum. "I'll take the lump sum," I said. My voice sounded stronger than I felt. They told me it would take a few weeks to process everything. They offered to connect me with financial advisors, lawyers, accountants. My head spun with information, but I nodded and took their business cards. As I walked out of that office, reality began to sink in. I was rich. Eleanor Johnson, a 57-year-old custodian from the Bronx, was rich. I kept quiet for 2 weeks. During those 2 weeks, I went to work like nothing had changed. I mopped floors, cleaned bathrooms, emptied trash cans. But inside, everything was different. I watched my coworkers complain about their bills, their problems, and I wanted to scream, "I won! I won the lottery! I can help all of you!" But I didn't. The lawyer had warned me. Once people know you have money, everything changes. Be very careful who you tell and when you tell them. I met with a financial advisor named Mr. Harrison. He was a kind black man in his 60s who specialized in helping lottery winners. He sat across from me in his office and spoke plainly. "Mrs. Johnson, most lottery winners lose everything within 5 years. Not because they're stupid, but because they're generous. Family, friends, strangers, everyone will have their hand out. You need to set boundaries now before you tell anyone." "But my family needs help," I said. "That's why I want this money, to help them." "And you can," he said gently. "But you need to be strategic. Give people lump sums, not unlimited access. Pay off specific debts. Don't hand out cash. And most importantly, don't let anyone make you feel guilty for setting limits." I listened. I nodded. But deep down, I thought, my family isn't like that. They love me. They'll be happy for me. We'll figure this out together. Oh, how wrong I was. I told Rashida first. She was my daughter, my firstborn. We'd been through everything together. When her father left us, when money was tight, when Kenya was born, we'd always been a team. If anyone would be happy for me, it would be Rashida. I called her on a Sunday afternoon and asked her to come over. She arrived an hour later with Kenya. My grandbaby ran into my arms, and I hugged her tight, breathing in her smell of cocoa butter and children's shampoo. "What's going on, Mama?" Rashida asked, sitting on my couch. "You sounded serious on the phone." I sat across from them, my hands folded in my lap. "I need to tell you something big." Rashida leaned forward. "You okay? You sick?" "No, baby, I'm fine. Better than fine, actually." I took a deep breath. 3 weeks ago, I bought a lottery ticket, and I won." Silence. Rashida stared at me. "Won like $100? "No, won like the jackpot. $127 million. Kenya's eyes went wide. "Grandma!" Rashida's mouth fell open. "What? Mama, are you serious?" "Dead serious. After taxes, it's about 45 million. Rashida stood up, sat down, stood up again. Oh my God, Mama!" She rushed over and hugged me, tears streaming down her face. "You won! You actually won! Thank you, Jesus! Thank you!" I hugged her back, relief flooding through me. "See?" I thought. This is good. This is right. We're rich, Kenya squealed. Grandma's rich. Can you believe it? Rashida said, pulling back and holding my face in her hands. After everything you've been through, all those years of hard work, you deserve this, Mama. You deserve every penny. I want to help all of you, I said. Pay off your debts, set up college funds for Kenya. Of course, Rashida said, laughing and crying at the same time. Oh, Mama, this is incredible. We need to tell Marcus, and Aunt Janice, and Uncle Gerald, everyone. Something in her voice made me pause. There was an edge of excitement that felt less about my good fortune and more about something else. But I pushed the thought away. Let's wait a little bit, I said. I'm still figuring everything out. Wait, Mama, they need to know. This is family news. I know, baby. Soon, I promise. Rashida nodded, but I could see her mind working. Okay, yeah, you're right. This is big. We need to be smart. She hugged me again. I'm so happy for you, Mama. So happy. That night, after they left, I felt uneasy. I couldn't explain why. Words spread faster than I expected. By Tuesday, Marcus called me. Ma, is it true? Rashida said you won the lottery? My stomach dropped. Rashida told you? Yeah, she called me yesterday. Said I wasn't supposed to say anything, but come on, Ma. This is huge. How much did you win? I closed my eyes. The lawyer's words echoed in my head. Be very careful who you tell and when you tell them. Yes, Marcus. I won, but I'm still handling the details. I'll talk to you about it soon. Soon? Ma, I'm your son. You can talk to me now. His voice had that edge it always got when he wanted something. Look, I know I haven't been the best with money, but this is different. This is life-changing. You could help me start that business I've been talking about. You know, the food truck? I just need some startup capital. Marcus, I said we'll talk soon. How much, Ma? Just tell me how much. Goodbye, Marcus. I hung up. My phone rang again immediately. I didn't answer. Then Janice called. Then Gerald. Then Rashida called again, upset that I hadn't told everyone myself. They heard it from other people, Mama. You should have told them directly. I asked you not to say anything yet, I said quietly. I only told Marcus. He must have told Aunt Janice. Within a week, my entire family knew, and they all wanted to talk to me. The first family meeting happened at Rashida's apartment. Everyone was there. Rashida, Marcus, Janice, Gerald. Kenya was at a friend's house. I sat on Rashida's couch, feeling like I was on trial. Mama? Rashida started, her voice warm but calculated. We're all so excited for you. This is a blessing for our whole family. Our family has struggled for so long, Janice added. And now, finally, we can breathe. We can live. Marcus nodded. We just want to make sure we're all on the same page. You know, about how we're going to handle this together. Together? I asked slowly. Yeah, Ma. Together. We're family. Marcus leaned forward. Look, I've been thinking. With this money, we could all invest in something. Something that benefits everyone. Like a family business. Or we could buy property, flip houses. I'm not flipping houses, Marcus. Okay, but something. Something we all do together. He smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. This isn't just your money, Ma. It's family money. My blood went cold. What did you say? Rashida jumped in quickly. What Marcus means is that you've always taken care of us, and now you have the means to really take care of us. That's a good thing. I've always taken care of myself, I said quietly, with my own 2 hands. Right, And now you don't have to, Janice said. Now you can rest, and help us rest too. Gerald, who'd been quiet, finally spoke. Ellie, I'm on disability. You know that. The payments barely cover my rent and medications. If you could just help me out, get me into a better place, maybe get me a reliable car. Gerald, I will help you, I said. I'll help all of you, but this is my money. I want it. I get to decide how it's used. The room went quiet. Nobody's saying it's not your money, Marcus said, his voice tight. We're just saying, you're going to share it, right? With your family? Of course I'll share, but on my terms. Your terms? Janice's voice had an edge now. Eleanor, you've been broke your whole life. No offense, but you don't know how to handle this kind of money. You need help. You need us. I have financial advisors. Strangers? Marcus scoffed. You're going to trust strangers over your own family? Those strangers don't have their hands out, I said before I could stop myself. The room froze. Rashida's face fell. Mama, that's not fair. Isn't it? We're not asking for handouts. Marcus stood up, his voice rising. We're asking our mother, our sister, to help her family. And I will, when I'm ready, when I've figured out the best way to do it. The best way? Janice stood too. The best way is to take care of your family first, before those vultures in suits convince you to hide it all away. I'm not hiding anything. Then prove it, Marcus said. Tell us how much you won. Tell us your plan. I stood up, my heart pounding. I don't owe you an explanation. Not yet. This is my life, my win, my decision. We're your family. Rashida's voice broke. How can you shut us out like this? I'm not shutting you out. I'm asking for time. Time for what? Marcus threw his hands up. Time to forget about us? Time to become one of those rich people who turns their back on their own? That's not what I'm doing. Then what are you doing? Janice demanded. I looked at all of them. My daughter, my son, my sister, my brother. The people I'd loved and sacrificed for my whole life. And in that moment, I saw something I'd never seen before. Hunger, desperation, entitlement. I'm protecting myself, I said quietly, and I walked out. The phone calls started immediately. Day and night, my phone rang. Marcus called 10 times a day. Ma, just hear me out. Janice left voicemails. Eleanor, I can't believe you'd treat family like this. Even Gerald, who'd always been gentle, sent text messages. Ellie, I thought you were better than this. Rashida was the worst. She'd show up at my apartment, knocking on the door, sometimes with Kenya. Mama, please, let's talk. Kenya's here? You're going to shut out your granddaughter? I opened the door once. Kenya stood there, her eyes uncertain. My heart broke. Hi, baby, I said softly. Grandma, why is everyone fighting? She asked. We're not fighting, sweetie. We're just figuring things out. Mama, Rashida said, her voice trembling. I'm going to lose my salon. The landlord's raising the rent, and I can't afford it. I'll lose everything I've built. Please, just a loan. I'll pay you back. How much? I asked. $50,000. $50,000? It's nothing to you now. You have millions. Rashida, I will help you, but I need to set up a proper plan. I don't have time for plans. I need it now. She started crying. Please, Mama, please. You've always been there for me. Don't abandon me now. I felt sick. I'm not abandoning you. Then prove it. Give me the money. I looked at my daughter, really looked at her. When had this happened? When had she become someone who'd use her own daughter to manipulate me? I need to think about it, I said. Rashida's tears stopped instantly. Her face hardened. You need to think about helping your daughter? Rashida? You've changed already, she said coldly. Money's already changed you. That's not true. It is. You're not the same person. The mother I knew would have given me everything. The mother you knew gave you everything she had, I said quietly. And it was never enough. Rashida stared at me, then grabbed Kenya's hand and left. Things got worse. Marcus showed up at my work. He found me in the hallway, pushing my cleaning cart. Ma, we need to talk. Not here, Marcus. I'm working. You're still working? You're a millionaire and you're still mopping floors? I haven't quit yet. I need to finish out my notice. Notice? He laughed bitterly. You're giving notice to a job that's treated you like dirt for 40 years? Ma, wake up. You don't owe them anything. I owe myself, I said. I finish what I start. He grabbed my arm. Not hard, but firm enough that I stopped. Ma, listen to me. I'm in trouble. Real trouble. I owe some people money. A lot of money. And they're not patient people. My stomach sank. What kind of people? The kind that don't care if we're family. If I don't pay them back, they'll hurt me, Ma. Maybe worse. How much? 20,000. 20,000? Marcus, what did you do? I made a mistake, okay? I thought I could make some money, but it didn't work out. Please, Ma. I'm begging you. You're the only person who can help me. I looked at my son, my baby boy. He was 38 years old and still making the same mistakes he'd made at 18. If I give you this money, will it solve your problem? Or will you get into more trouble? It'll solve it, I promise. I swear on everything, I'll never ask you for anything again. You swear? I swear. Against every instinct, I believed him. Okay, I'll help you. But Marcus, this is the last time. Do you understand? The last time. He hugged me, and for a moment, I felt like I had my son back. Thank you, Ma. Thank you. I love you so much. I transferred him the money the next day. He texted me. Got it. You saved my life. 2 weeks later, he asked for 50,000 more. I said no. Marcus didn't take it well. Are you serious right now? Ma, I told you, these people are dangerous. You told me 20,000 would solve it. It did, but now there's something else. There's always something else with you, Marcus. Always. So, you're just going to let them kill me? Nobody's going to kill you. You're lying. Lying? You think I'm lying? Yes. I think you gambled that money or spent it on something stupid, and now you want more. His voice turned vicious. You've always thought I was worthless, haven't you? Your failure of a son? Well, guess what, Ma? You failed too. You failed as a mother. The words hit me like a slap. If that's how you feel, then we have nothing more to say to each other, I said quietly. Fine. When they come for me, it's on you. He hung up. I sat in my apartment, staring at my phone, and cried. Not because of his words, but because I finally saw the truth. My son didn't love me. He loved what I could give him. The final straw came 3 months later. I'd moved to a new apartment. Nothing fancy, just a nicer 2-bedroom in a safer neighborhood. I'd given Rashida $10,000 to help with her rent. I'd paid off Janice's credit card debt. I'd bought Gerald a used car and paid 6 months of his rent. But it wasn't enough. It was never enough. They wanted more. Always more. One evening, I came home to find my apartment door unlocked. My heart raced as I pushed it open. Marcus and Rashida were inside, going through my desk. "What are you doing?" I shouted. They both froze. "Ma, it's not what it looks like. You broke into my home." "We have a key," Rashida said defensively. "You gave me a key for emergencies." "This isn't an emergency. You're going through my things." Marcus held up some papers. "We're trying to find your bank information. We need to know how much you have left." "How much I have left?" I was shaking with rage. "Get out, both of you, now!" "Mama, listen. Get out. You're being selfish," Rashida screamed. "Do you know what people are saying about you? That you won all this money and abandoned your family? That you're up here living like a queen while we're all struggling? I've helped all of you. You gave us scraps," Marcus yelled. "Thousands when you have millions. That's not help. That's an insult. I don't owe you millions." "Yes, you do." Rashida stepped closer. "We're your family. We were there when you had nothing. And now that you have something, you turn your back on us." "I've never turned my back." "Then give us what we're asking for," Marcus said coldly. "We want $1 million each. That's fair. $3 million total. You'll still have plenty left." I stared at them in disbelief. "You want me to give you $3 million? "Yes, and if you don't, we'll sue you." "Sue me?" Rashida pulled out her phone. "I've been documenting everything, Mama. Every conversation where you refuse to help us. Every time you put yourself before your family. We have a lawyer who says we have a case." "A case for what? You have no legal right to my money." "We'll say you're mentally unfit. That the stress of the money made you unstable. That you need a guardian to manage your finances." My blood ran cold. "You would do that to me? If you don't give us what we deserve, yes." I looked at my daughter, my son, these people I'd raised, loved, sacrificed everything for, and I saw strangers. "Get out," I whispered. "Ma, get out of my house, now, and don't come back." "You'll regret this," Marcus said. "The only thing I regret is trusting you." They left, and I locked the door behind them. I changed my locks the next day. I changed my phone number. I met with my lawyer and showed him everything: the text messages, the threats, the documents they'd tried to steal. "Can they really sue me?" I asked. "They can try," he said. "But they won't win. You're completely competent, and this money is legally yours. However, I'd recommend cutting off all contact and documenting any future attempts they make to reach you." "What about Kenya, my granddaughter?" His expression softened. "That's harder. If Rashida tries to keep her from you, there's not much you can do legally unless you want to pursue grandparents' rights, which is a long and painful process. They're using her against me." "I know. I'm sorry." I left his office feeling hollow. I'd won $45 million, and I'd lost my family. But then something happened that changed everything. A month later, I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. "Mrs. Johnson?" A woman's voice. "Yes?" "This is Detective Maria Santos with the NYPD. I'm investigating a case that involves your family, and I need to speak with you." My heart stopped. "What kind of case?" "It's better if we discuss this in person. Can you come to the precinct?" An hour later, I sat in a small room with Detective Santos and another officer. They laid out documents in front of me. "Mrs. Johnson, we've been investigating a fraud case involving your son, Marcus Johnson, and your daughter, Rashida Johnson." "What kind of fraud?" "They've been scamming elderly lottery winners. They find out who wins, get close to them, and then manipulate or steal their money. Sometimes they file false lawsuits. Sometimes they forge documents. In your case, they attempted to forge a power of attorney document that would have given Rashida control of your finances. I felt like I couldn't breathe. What? Detective Santos slid another document toward me. This is a forged signature claiming to be yours. They submitted it to your bank 3 weeks ago. Luckily, the bank flagged it because it didn't match your signature on file. I stared at the paper. Someone had tried to impersonate me. My own children. How many people have they done this to? You're the 4th victim we've identified. The others weren't family. They befriended other lottery winners and systematically stole from them. But you're the first family member. We believe they initially planned to manipulate you into giving them money, but when that didn't work, they escalated to fraud. Are they going to be arrested? We're building our case, but we wanted to warn you and get your statement. Have they tried to contact you recently? No, I cut them off. Good. Keep it that way. And if they do contact you, call us immediately. I left the police station in a daze. My own children, my blood. They hadn't just wanted my money, they'd planned to steal it, to destroy me. The trial happened 6 months later. Marcus and Rashida were charged with fraud, identity theft, and conspiracy. The evidence was overwhelming. The 3 other victims testified. Bank records showed the pattern of their scams. I sat in the courtroom and watched my children be sentenced. Marcus got 5 years. Rashida got 3 because she cooperated with prosecutors. When they were led away, Marcus wouldn't look at me, but Rashida did. And in her eyes, I didn't see remorse. I saw anger. She was angry at me for not giving her what she wanted, for not being an easy mark. Outside the courtroom, Janice and Gerald found me. Ellie, I'm so sorry, Gerald said, tears in his eyes. I had no idea they were planning anything like this. Neither did I, Janice added. We were wrong to pressure you. We let greed cloud our judgment, but we never wanted to hurt you. I looked at them. You hurt me anyway. We know, and we're sorry. Truly sorry. We don't expect you to forgive us, but we want you to know. We're sorry. I nodded slowly. Thank you for saying that. We stood in silence for a moment. What are you going to do now? Gerald asked. Live my life, on my terms. That was 3 years ago. Today, I'm 60 years old. I live in a modest house in North Carolina, surrounded by trees and quiet. I volunteer at a women's shelter, helping women escape abusive situations. I've set up college funds for students who can't afford tuition. I've donated to hospitals, churches, and community centers. I live comfortably, but not extravagantly. I don't need much. I never did. Kenya reached out to me last year. She's 13 now, living with a foster family after Rashida lost custody. We talk on the phone every week. I send her letters, books, care packages. When she turns 18, there's a college fund waiting for her. A full ride to any school she wants. I don't hate Rashida or Marcus. I don't wish them harm, but I also don't miss them. They taught me the most valuable lesson of my life. Money doesn't change people. It reveals them. Some nights, I sit on my porch and think about that Tuesday evening when I bought that lottery ticket. I think about the person I was, tired, worn down, barely surviving. And I think about who I am now, free, at peace, living for myself. The money didn't make me happy, but losing the people who are making me miserable, that did. I won the lottery, but the real win was discovering my own worth. Discovering that I deserved better than people who only loved me for what I could give them. I deserve peace. I deserve respect. I deserve a life lived on my own terms. And for the first time in 60 years, that's exactly what I have. The end. Money doesn't change people, it reveals them. Eleanor Johnson. My phone rang at 2 a.m. that night. I was already awake, staring at the ceiling, replaying everything that had happened. When I saw Janice's name on the screen, my first thought was that someone had died. Ellie, I need to talk to you. Her voice was strange, not sad, not angry, something else. Janice, it's 2 in the morning. I know. I've been thinking about what happened at Rashida's, about what everyone said to you. I sat up in bed. And I want to apologize. Really apologize. Not like those fake apologies people give when they want something. Okay, I said carefully. The truth is, when Rashida told me you won, my first thought wasn't, I'm happy for her. It was, finally, I can stop worrying about money. And that's ugly, Ellie. That's really ugly. Tears stung my eyes. Thank you for saying that. But here's the thing, I still need help. I'm not lying about that. My car broke down last week, and I can't afford to fix it. I'm taking 3 buses to get to work now, and I'm exhausted. So I'm asking you, sister to sister, can you help me? Not because you owe me, not because we're family, but because you can, and you have a good heart. I thought about it, really thought about it. How much do you need? $4,000 for the repairs. But Ellie, if you say no, I'll understand. I'll find another way. I promise. I'll help you, I said. But Janice, this is it. After this, I need you to stand on your own. I will. I swear I will. And you know what? She kept her word. Janice never asked me for another dime after that. She even paid me back, little by little, over 2 years. 500 here, 300 there. I tried to tell her she didn't have to, but she insisted. It's not about the money, Ellie, she said. It's about respect. Respect for you and respect for myself. That's when I realized not everyone in my family was corrupt. Some of them just needed to be reminded of who they were. Gerald was different too. After that first family meeting, he called me privately. Ellie, I'm not going to lie and say I don't need help. I do. But I also know you've worked hard for that money, even if it came from luck. So here's what I'm asking. Help me get my teeth fixed. I haven't smiled in 5 years because I'm embarrassed. Help me with that, and I won't ask for anything else. How much? I asked. About $12,000 for the full dental work. Send me the bills directly. I'll pay the dentist. And I did. Gerald sent me a photo 2 months later, a huge smile, showing off his new teeth. The message said, "Thank you for giving me my dignity back." That's what money should do. Give people dignity, not dependence. But Marcus and Rashida? They were different. The harassment escalated after I refused Marcus the second time. He started showing up at my apartment building. The doorman called me one day. Mrs. Johnson, there's a man here claiming to be your son. He's very upset. Should I let him up? No. Tell him to leave, or you'll call the police. Yes, ma'am. But Marcus didn't leave. He waited outside the building. When I came home from work that evening, he was sitting on the steps. Ma, please, just listen to me. There's nothing to say, Marcus. Yes, there is. He stood up, blocking my path. I'm your son. Doesn't that mean anything to you anymore? You're the one who called me a failure as a mother. I was angry. I didn't mean it. Yes, you did. And you know what? Maybe you were right. Maybe I did fail you. Because I raised a man who thinks his mother owes him everything and gives nothing back. His face hardened. You're really going to do this? You're really going to turn your back on me? I'm not turning my back. I'm setting boundaries. There's a difference. Boundaries? He laughed bitterly. That's rich people talk. You've been rich for 2 months, and you already sound like one of them. Like who? Like those people who think they're better than everyone else because they have money. I don't think I'm better than anyone. I just think I deserve better than being used. Used? Ma, I'm your son. I'm not using you. I'm asking for help. You're not asking, Marcus. You're demanding. And there's a difference. I walked around him and went into the building. He shouted after me. You'll regret this. You'll see. You'll end up alone with all that money, and you'll have no one. His words echoed in the lobby. The doorman looked at me sympathetically. You okay, Mrs. Johnson? I'm fine. I lied, but I wasn't fine, because part of me wondered if Marcus was right. Would I end up alone? Was I being selfish? Was I wrong to set boundaries with my own children? That night, I called Mr. Harrison, my financial advisor. Mrs. Johnson, what you're experiencing is completely normal, he said. Family members often react badly when lottery winners set boundaries. They feel entitled to the money because of the relationship. But here's what you need to understand. You're not refusing to help them. You're refusing to let them destroy you. But what if I am being selfish? Selfish would be buying yourself a mansion and a yacht while your family starves. You've helped them. You've paid debts, covered emergencies. But they want unlimited access, and that's not sustainable. You'd go broke in a year, and then they'd blame you for that too. So, what do? You hold firm. You set up a family trust if you want, where you allocate specific amounts for specific purposes. But you don't give them direct access to your accounts. And most importantly, you don't let them guilt you into making bad decisions. I took his advice. I set up a trust with $500,000, divided among Rashida, Marcus, Janice, and Gerald. Each person got $125,000 held in trust to be distributed over 10 years. They could apply for early distributions for specific needs, education, medical emergencies, housing, but not for business ventures or investments. I had my lawyer send them the paperwork. Janice called me, crying. Thank you, Ellie. This is more than I ever expected. Gerald sent me a card. You didn't have to do this, but I'm grateful you did. Marcus texted, 125K? That's it? You're a joke. Rashida didn't respond at all. 3 weeks later, Rashida showed up at my work again. This time, she brought Kenya. My supervisor called me into the hallway. Eleanor, there's a woman here with a child. She says she's your daughter. My heart sank. I went to the lobby. Rashida sat there with Kenya, who looked uncomfortable and sad. Hi, Mama, Rashida said sweetly, too sweetly. Rashida, what are you doing here? Kenya wanted to see you. She misses her grandmother. I knelt down in front of Kenya. Hi, baby. I miss you too. Grandma, why don't you come visit us anymore? She asked quietly. My throat tightened. It's complicated, sweetie. No, it's not complicated, Rashida interrupted. It's simple. Grandma cares more about money than family. Rashida, don't do this in front of her. Do what? Tell the truth? Kenya deserves to know why her grandmother abandoned us. I didn't abandon anyone. You gave us scraps and called it generosity. $125,000 over 10 years? That's nothing. People in the lobby were starting to stare. My supervisor looked uncomfortable. Rashida, This isn't the place. Where is the place, Mama? You won't answer my calls. You moved without telling me your address. You've shut us out completely. Because every time I talk to you, you ask for money. So? You have it. That doesn't mean I owe it to you? Kenya started crying. Stop yelling. I immediately knelt beside her. I'm sorry, baby. I'm so sorry. Rashida grabbed her hand. Come on, Kenya. Your grandmother doesn't want to see us. That's not true. Then prove it. Come have dinner with us tonight. Just the three of us. No money talk. Just family. I looked at Kenya's tearful face. How could I say no? Okay, dinner? Where? Your place, Rashida said. Since I don't know where you live anymore, I can't host. Something felt wrong, but I agreed. They arrived at 6 o'clock. I'd made Kenya's favorite, fried chicken, mac and cheese, green beans. Kenya hugged me tight when she walked in. I missed you so much, Grandma. I missed you too, baby. Dinner was awkward. Rashida kept making passive-aggressive comments. Nice place, Mama. Must be nice to afford somewhere so clean and safe. It's modest, I said. Modest? It's twice the size of our apartment. Rashida? I'm just saying, some of us are still struggling while others are living large. I set down my fork. I thought you said no money talk. I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about fairness. Mommy, please, Kenya whispered. After dinner, I asked Kenya to help me with dishes while Rashida used the bathroom. As soon as we were alone, Kenya grabbed my hand. Grandma, I don't want to do this. Do what, baby? Mommy told me to look for papers. Important papers. She said you'd have them in your desk or bedroom. My blood went cold. What? I told her I didn't want to, but she said if I loved her, I'd help. I'm sorry, Grandma. I don't want to sneak around. I just want us to be a family again. I hugged her tight. You have nothing to apologize for, baby. Nothing. When Rashida came back, I was waiting. Kenya told me everything. Rashida's face went pale, then red. Kenya, what did you say? Don't blame her, I said quietly. She's a child. She shouldn't be involved in your schemes. Schemes? I'm trying to survive. By using your daughter to steal from me? It's not stealing if it should be mine anyway. It's not yours, Rashida. It's mine. You selfish bitch, she screamed. Kenya started crying again. I stepped between her and Rashida. Get out, now, and don't ever come back. You can't keep me from my daughter. Kenya stays with me tonight. You can pick her up tomorrow when you've calmed down. You have no right. I have every right. You just admitted you planned to use her to steal from me. What kind of mother does that? Rashida grabbed her purse, tears streaming down her face. You'll regret this. I swear to God, you'll regret this. She stormed out, slamming the door. Kenya collapsed into my arms, sobbing. I'm sorry, Grandma. I'm so sorry. Shh, baby. You did nothing wrong. Nothing. That night, I called my lawyer. The next day, I filed for emergency grandparents' rights, citing Rashida's attempt to use Kenya in a theft scheme. The court date was set for 2 weeks later. I thought that was the worst it could get. I was wrong. 4 days before the court date, I came home to find my apartment had been broken into. The lock was damaged, the door slightly open. I called 911 immediately. The police arrived within minutes. Ma'am, did you touch anything? No, I just got here. They searched the apartment. Nothing major was taken. Not my TV, not my laptop. But my desk had been ransacked. Papers everywhere. My filing cabinet was open. What were they looking for? The officer asked. Bank documents. account information, legal papers. Do you know who might have done this? I hesitated. Then I told them everything. About the lottery, about my family, about Rashida's threats. They took a report, dusted for fingerprints, told me to change my locks again and consider getting a security system. That night, I stayed at a hotel. I was scared. Not just of being robbed, but of what my own daughter had become. The next morning, my lawyer called. Eleanor, we need to talk. Rashida's lawyer filed a motion to block your grandparents' rights petition. They're claiming you're mentally unstable due to the stress of winning the lottery. What? They have a psychologist's report claiming you're experiencing paranoid delusions and making irrational decisions. I've never seen a psychologist. The psychologist's report is based on interviews with concerned family members. Essentially, it's Rashida and Marcus telling a sympathetic doctor that you've changed since winning the money. This is insane. I agree. We'll fight it. But Eleanor, this is going to get ugly. Are you prepared for that? I thought about Kenya, about keeping her safe. Yes, I said. I'm prepared. The court hearing was brutal. Rashida sat across from me with her lawyer. She looked composed, sad, like a concerned daughter worried about her mentally ill mother. Her lawyer painted me as a paranoid recluse who'd cut off her entire family after winning the lottery. Mrs. Johnson moved without telling anyone her address. She changed her phone number. She refused to see her grandchild. She's made wild accusations against her children, claiming they're trying to steal from her when all they've done is ask for help. This is classic behavior of someone experiencing a psychotic break. My lawyer fought back. Mrs. Johnson has documented evidence of her family's harassment, text messages demanding money, her daughter's admission that she planned to have Kenya search for financial documents, a break-in at Mrs. Johnson's apartment 4 days ago. This isn't paranoia. This is reality. The judge looked tired. Do we have proof of the break-in? Yes, Your Honor. Police report and photos. And proof that Ms. Rashida Johnson was involved? No definitive proof, but then it's hearsay. The judge shuffled papers. Here's my ruling. I'm ordering a psychological evaluation for Mrs. Eleanor Johnson. If she's deemed competent, we'll revisit the grandparents' rights petition. If not, we'll discuss other arrangements. Case adjourned for 30 days. I felt numb as we left the courtroom. Rashida smirked at me. Marcus, who'd shown up to support her, mouthed, "Told you." The psychological evaluation was scheduled for the following week. I met with Dr. Patricia Williams, a Black woman in her 50s who specialized in geriatric psychology. She was kind but thorough. We talked for 3 hours about my life, my family, the lottery, my decisions. She asked me why I'd set boundaries with my children. Because they were using me, I said simply. Not loving me, using me. How did that make you feel? Heartbroken, but also clear. For the first time in my life, I saw them for who they really were. And I realized I deserved better. Do you think the money changed you? No. I think it revealed me. Revealed what I was willing to tolerate and what I wasn't. My whole life, I've been taken advantage of. By my boss, by my family, by everyone. I accepted it because I thought that's what good people do. They sacrifice. But sacrifice isn't love if it's never appreciated. Dr. Williams nodded thoughtfully. Do you have any regrets about winning the lottery? I thought about it. Really thought about it. No, I said finally. I regret how my family reacted, but I don't regret winning, because winning showed me the truth, and the truth, as painful as it was, set me free. 2 weeks later, I received Dr. Williams' report. My lawyer read it over the phone. She found you completely competent. In fact, her report says your decision-making is rational, appropriate, and demonstrates strong boundaries necessary for mental and financial well-being. She actually commends you for setting limits with manipulative family members. Relief flooded through me. So, what happens now? We go back to court, and this time, we push for supervised visitation between you and Kenya. Rashida won't like it, but the judge has to consider what's best for the child. The second hearing was different. Dr. Williams testified on my behalf. Mrs. Johnson is one of the most mentally sound individuals I've evaluated. She's not paranoid, she's protective. And given the documented evidence of her family's attempts to manipulate and potentially defraud her, that protection is warranted. Rashida's lawyer tried to discredit her. Isn't it possible Mrs. Johnson simply doesn't want to share her wealth? There's a difference between not wanting to share wealth and protecting oneself from exploitation, Dr. Williams said firmly. Mrs. Johnson has already given significant amounts to her family. She set up trust funds. She's paid debts. This isn't about greed. It's about boundaries. The judge listened carefully. Then he made his ruling. I'm granting Mrs. Johnson supervised visitation with her granddaughter, Kenya Johnson, twice a month. These visits will be supervised by a court-appointed social worker to ensure they're in Kenya's best interest. Ms. Rashida Johnson, you are prohibited from using these visits to discuss financial matters with Mrs. Johnson. Any violation of this order will result in further legal consequences. Rashida looked furious, but she had no choice. Kenya and I started our visits the following month. We'd meet at a community center with a social worker named Mrs. Chen present. At first, Kenya was nervous. Am I in trouble, Grandma? No, baby, you're not in trouble. This is just to make sure we have good time together. Mommy's mad at you. I know. She says you stole our family. My heart broke. Kenya, I didn't steal anything. I had to protect myself. And I'm trying to protect you too. From what? From growing up thinking love means giving people everything they want. Real love is about respect and boundaries and treating each other well. She thought about that. Mommy doesn't treat you well, does she? No, baby, she doesn't. That makes me sad. Me too. Over the months, our visits got easier. We'd play games, do puzzles, talk about school. Kenya told me about her dreams of becoming a doctor. Do you think I can do it, Grandma? I know you can. And when you're ready, I'll make sure you have everything you need to get there. Really? Really. But you have to promise me something. What? That you'll never let anyone make you feel like you owe them your dreams. Not me, not your mommy, not anyone. Your life is yours. You understand? She nodded. I understand. That's when Marcus made his final move. 6 months after the court ruling, I received a certified letter. Marcus was suing me for financial elder abuse, claiming I'd stolen his inheritance by winning the lottery. My lawyer laughed when he read it. This is ridiculous. You can't steal an inheritance that never existed. You won the lottery yourself. So he has no case? None. But we'll still have to go to court and fight it. It'll cost him money he doesn't have, and it'll waste everyone's time. But that's what he's counting on, that you'll settle out of court just to make it go away. I'm not settling. Good. The case went to court. Marcus represented himself, since no lawyer would take the case. He stood in front of the judge and tried to argue that I owed him part of my winnings because he was my son. Your Honor, I'm her flesh and blood. She raised me. She should want to take care of me. But instead, she's hoarding all this money and leaving me with nothing. The judge looked unimpressed. Mr. Johnson, your mother has no legal obligation to give you her lottery winnings. She's already provided you with financial assistance through a trust fund. This case is dismissed. Marcus exploded. This is bullshit. She's my mother. She owes me. Mr. Johnson, one more outburst and I'll hold you in contempt. Marcus pointed at me. You did this. You turned everyone against me. You're going to hell for this. Security escorted him out. I sat there, feeling nothing. No sadness, no anger, just nothing. My son had become a stranger. And then came the day that changed everything. Detective Santos called me. Mrs. Johnson, can you come to the station? It's important. When I arrived, she led me into that same small room. But this time, there were more documents, more evidence. We've completed our investigation, she said. And what we found is worse than we thought. She laid out everything, forged documents, fake charities Marcus and Rashida had set up to funnel money from other lottery winners, identity theft, fraud. They'd been running this scheme for 3 years, targeting vulnerable people across multiple states. How much did they steal? I asked. Over $2 million from various victims. I felt sick. And I gave them more. You were a victim too, Mrs. Johnson. Don't blame yourself. When will they be arrested? Tomorrow. We wanted to tell you first, in case they try to contact you. They didn't. Marcus and Rashida were arrested at their respective apartments the next morning. The news covered it. Siblings arrested in multi-state lottery winner fraud scheme. I watched the footage on TV. Rashida being led out in handcuffs, yelling at the cameras. Marcus trying to hide his face. And I felt relief. Not joy, not satisfaction. Just relief. It was over. The aftermath took months. Rashida's lawyer tried to make a deal, testify against Marcus in exchange for a reduced sentence. She took it, sold out her own brother to save herself a few years. Marcus got 8 years. Rashida got 5. During the sentencing, the judge asked if I wanted to make a statement. I stood up, my legs shaking. I loved my children, I said, my voice breaking. I would have given them the world if they'd just let me do it my way. Instead, they tried to take everything. They used me. They lied to me. They hurt me in ways I didn't know were possible. I looked at them. Rashida was crying. Marcus stared at the floor. But here's what I want you to know. I forgive you. Not because you deserve it, but because I deserve peace. And I can't have peace while carrying hatred in my heart. So I forgive you. And I hope one day you'll understand what you threw away. As I walked out of that courtroom, I felt lighter than I'd felt in years. Kenya asked me once why I forgave them. She was 14 by then, living with me full time after Rashida went to prison. We were sitting on my back porch, watching the sunset. Grandma, how can you forgive them after what they did? I thought carefully about how to answer. Because forgiveness isn't about them, baby. It's about me. If I stayed angry, if I stayed hurt, they'd still have power over me, even from prison. But when I forgave them, I took that power back. But don't they deserve to be punished? They are being punished. The law is handling that. But I don't need to punish them with my hatred. That just punishes me too. She nodded slowly. I think I understand. Do you hate me for what happened to your mom? I asked softly. No, Grandma. I'm sad. But I don't hate you. You tried to help her. She couldn't see it. Smart girl, my Kenya. She's going to do great things. Today marks 5 years since I bought that lottery ticket. I'm 62 now. Kenya's 17, about to graduate high school at the top of her class. She got accepted to every college she applied to. Harvard, Yale, Stanford. She chose Howard University because she wants to stay connected to her culture. Plus, she said with a grin, the campus is beautiful and DC has amazing museums. I couldn't be prouder. I see Janice and Gerald regularly. We have Sunday dinners, play cards, laugh about old times. They never ask me for money anymore. We're just family now. Real family. Rashida gets out of prison next year. She writes me letters sometimes. They start the same way. I'm sorry. But then they shift. But you have to understand, I was desperate. But you could have helped us more. But you made me do it. I don't respond. Some people never learn. Marcus gets out in 3 years. He hasn't written once. Maybe he never will. I still volunteer at the women's shelter. I've helped 30 women escape abusive situations and start new lives. I pay for their rent deposits, their job training, their child care. I give them what I wished someone had given me when I was younger. A chance. I travel now. I've been to Ghana to see where my ancestors came from. To Paris, because I always wanted to see the Eiffel Tower. To the Grand Canyon, because the pictures don't do it justice. And I'm happy. Genuinely, deeply happy. People ask me sometimes, do you regret winning the lottery? And I tell them the truth. No. Because yes, it cost me relationships. Yes, it showed me painful truths. But it also set me free. Free from obligation without appreciation. Free from love that wasn't really love. Free from pretending I was okay when I wasn't. The money didn't make me happy, but it gave me the freedom to choose happiness, and that's priceless. Last week, I did something I'd been thinking about for years. I went back to that bodega on 149th and Grand Concourse. Mr. Patel was still there, a little grayer, a little slower. Mrs. Johnson, he said, smiling. I haven't seen you in years. I moved, Mr. Patel, but I wanted to come back and say thank you. Thank me? For what? For selling me that lottery ticket 5 years ago? His eyes widened. That was you? The winner? I always wondered. That was me. Did it change your life? I smiled. In ways I never expected. It showed me who I was and who I wanted to be. He nodded wisely. Money is a mirror, Mrs. Johnson. It shows people their true reflection. Some people like what they see, others don't. That's the truest thing anyone's ever said to me. I bought a lottery ticket before I left, not because I needed the money, but because sometimes you need to remember where your journey started. I didn't win this time, but that's okay, because I already won the only prize that matters, myself. The end. The lottery didn't change me, it revealed me. And in that revelation, I found my freedom. Eleanor Johnson, age 62.